I just wanted to make a quick clarification about one of the live broadcasts that's being broadcast for an educational purpose as part of the educational sessions or classes. The idea behind the live broadcast, which has been also put as a separate video upload, is to be used as a curated experience, similar to how you would experience an exhibit when you enter a museum, where you have a little bit of a glimpse into the experience itself. The purpose is not so that it can enshrine a distance from what you think about the idea and your own emotional reaction and position. It's not supposed to be a sense of segmenting in a way that you would distance yourself emotionally. It's actually trying to do the opposite. It's using those performances to help you to approximate what it would be to be in that experience yourself as a participant. If you were to be an anthropologist on the ground and you would experience it directly. At the same time, this type of an approach may raise a valid concern for some people, whether they are academics from different disciplines, such as those in philosophy. Not to say that I am not also in some ways multidisciplinary, but it's to say that some who are specifically identifying with an academic approach of philosophy may take a more prescriptive approach to almost any discussion when they are weighing in as an academic. But if they were to take a historical approach or an anthropological approach, there may be a little bit of a distance that's closer to the way I'm approaching this when I'm sharing these experiences for educational purposes. It's not to say that on a personal level you don't have a position and that you don't identify and you do not actually live your life by those values that you identify with. It's to say that when you are in a setting where you're trying to honor and uphold the integrity and the ethics of your discipline, especially in a secular institution or for a secular audience of multiple faiths or no faiths at all or a mix of all of the above, you may take a certain approach in order to have the educational experience not come across as if it's something that requires you to subscribe to a particular religion, but rather it's being done in an educational, academic way, at least from certain disciplinary lenses. If you're taking one of the disciplinary approaches, such as the ones that I'm coming from with my training in a secular institution, then you may be looking at it from the perspective of area studies, from the perspective of history, from the perspective of anthropology. And so you get a certain descriptive analytical take on something without necessarily taking a position or making clear your position, meaning you may take a position at times but not share it because that's not what's required in that moment for that particular purpose. But you may also not take a position at all and not share it, because both are possible. Both can be done while you're functioning within that disciplinary paradigm. That can be discussed at length, of course. I'll keep it at that. This comment is for those who are interested in hearing how one might reconcile the two. As a personal note, discussing events such as the tragedy of Ashura and its implications and its repercussions are difficult to do from a distance when you understand them, because they weigh on your conscience values that are so widely shared by human beings. So even if you don't personally identify as somebody who follows a religion, as a Muslim, as a Shia Muslim, but rather just somebody who identifies with human values, you may feel that it takes its toll on you and it's difficult to keep that descriptive analytical distance at times. But I think that even so, even for a Tawbur Shia Muslim who is deeply committed to the values that Imam Hussein represented, it is possible. It is possible to do. And it does not necessarily mean a person is shying away from ethical commitments. It rather means, however, that they are being professional and conducting themselves within the standards of the discipline, especially with their methodology that they may adopt in that discipline. The concern is a valid concern, but there is a way to address that concern. It is kind of like the difference between being a professional and being a father. The two are not contradictory. You can be both. And it's really context that will explain how the two function in the same individual. Context will explain it. It does not mean that in your capacity as a father, you're supposed to be acting in your capacity as a professional at the same time. And in your capacity as a professional, it does not mean that you're acting as a father necessarily at the same time. But they could also come together. It depends on the context.